And there's no time in the Bible that God tells us to be gracious except for one specific area. He talks about himself being gracious to us a lot, but he doesn't actually tell us to be gracious. At least he doesn't use that word except for in one specific area, and that's with our words. Interesting. And then he says it a bunch of times, but only about gracious words, which I thought was just kind of interesting. So I wanted to know what the original, Hebrew word for gracious, what that really means, so we could maybe dig in a little deeper. So it means pleasant, cheerful, merciful, kind, showing favor to someone. Those are the meanings of that word gracious. So be thinking about that in terms of we're supposed to be gracious in our words. Pleasant, cheerful, merciful, kind, and showing favor to someone. And keep in mind, it's the way we say the words too, right? Because I can say, well, you look really nice today. That does not sound like a compliment, does it? I was looking at Krista, I don't know why. But that does not sound like a compliment. There's ways that we say things, the words coming out of your mouth and what you're really communicating because of your facial expressions and your body language and your sarcasm and your tone can mean totally different things. So it's the combination of all of that in terms of what we communicate. But our words and the way we say them are super powerful, and we have learned that before. Proverbs 18:21, we've talked about a lot in here. It says, the tongue has the power of life and death. The tongue has the power of life and death. In other words, what you say to your husband or to anybody, say to your boss, your child, your mom, whatever, what you say has the ability to breathe life into that relationship, or it has the ability to deeply cut that person and kill the relationship by what comes out of your mouth. And the whole communication package, the way you say it, your facial expression, all of that. And so we can either speak fire-breathing dragon words, people. Fire-breathing dragon words. Or we can speak inviting pumpkin spice words. That my friend puts it this way, we should leave a fragrance, not an odor. And that's just like a good little handle to live by, right? Leave a fragrance, not an odor. Same thing with our words, right? Leave a fragrance, not an odor. But the time when we most often speak ungracious words is when we're in the heat of the moment, right? Isn't that how it is for you? That's how it is for me. When we're in the heat of the moment, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm irritable, or whatever, maybe you're PMSing, whatever it is, in the heat of the moment, then the ungracious words come out. Your husband's done something wrong, you're in the middle of a disagreement, you're frustrated with him, and all of a sudden ungracious words come out. And it's at that time it's critical to do 3 things so that you speak gracious words instead of ungracious ones. And the first one, of course, is pause. Always your best friend, right? Pausing, always your best friend in these moments. And there's a little proverb, I think, that illustrates this. Proverbs 13:3 says, those who guard their lips preserve their lives, but those who speak rashly will come to ruin. Good proverb to live by. So make yourself pause in that moment. Leave the room if you need to. That's one of my best weapons, is just to leave the room just for a moment, because then I can do the next thing. Point number 2, which is to coach your soul. And this is biblical. King David talked to his soul in the Psalms all the time. For instance, Psalm 42:5, David coached his soul by saying, why are you so downcast, O my soul? Why are you in turmoil within me? Put your hope in God, for I shall yet trust in him. He was coaching his soul. And when you coach your soul, you're going to remind yourself of the truths and principles that we're going to be hearing in just a moment from God's word. So coach your soul in that moment when you're pausing outside of the room or wherever you're pausing. And then thirdly, in that moment, ask God to give you a kind, compassionate heart and gracious words to say. Gracious words will help you be more effective if you're trying to get someone to change their behavior or trying to advise someone. Gracious words will help you be more effective if you're trying to get someone to change their behavior or just trying to advise someone. And this principle stems from Proverbs 16:21. The wise in heart are called discerning, and gracious words promote instruction. Gracious words promote instruction. This means when you're, confronting your husband or wanting to give advice to your husband or thinking you need to correct your husband or whatever, you're going to be much more effective if you use gracious words. So the ungracious, fire-breathing dragon kind of words here, when you're trying to confront or advise your husband, sound like, I can't believe you did that. What a jerk. Or maybe even a stronger word, you're so selfish. You just don't get it. That's not the right way to do that. I'm so disappointed in you. You can't do anything right. You're so lazy. You just don't get it. What were you thinking? Don't these words just aren't these just horrible words? Ugh. And yet sometimes they come out of our mouth. You should do it my way. Apparently you're just not capable of whatever the thing is. You only care about yourself. Okay, those words, how do you think your husband's going to react if those words come out of your mouth? Hurt?
Hide the garage.
Hide the garage. Never to return to the home. I mean, they're cutting, and yet sometimes some of us have probably said similar words in the heat of the argument. Probably. Gracious. Pumpkin spice inviting words at this moment when you're trying to confront or advise your husband. They might sound something like, would you like an idea on something that could help? You may have stumbled, but I believe in you. We all make mistakes, but I know you learned something from this. I trust you to lead our family, but if you think I could be of help, just let me know. That was a disappointing choice you made, but you're a good man with a good heart, and we're going to work through this together so it doesn't happen again. We all stumble in certain areas. Is there anything I can do to help you? I know you didn't mean to hurt me. That's a big one right there. I know you didn't mean to hurt me. I'm disappointed about what happened, but I still believe in you, and I still believe in us. Change is hard, but I know you can do this with God's help, and I'm going to pray for you every day. I got your back. I certainly don't know everything, but I think I might have an idea that you might want to consider. Just let me know if you're interested.